Hello, everyone. Before we get stuck into this episode, I just want to let everyone know that because this was our very first live podcast, the audio is not great. Now, I apologize in advance. I'm sorry for that. We only had a couple of hours to get organized with all the tech on the day. It was our very first attempt at doing something like this. So we didn't do the best job of it, although you do hear the majority of what's coming through. So once again, I apologize in advance. It was a live podcast from the Alex. We did it before the Pride game, round 17. We did it alongside the Rainbow Swans. And on the day, White Bay Brewery were actually giving out the 150th anniversary beers on the day. Super tasty brew. Now, we talked to the guys at White Bay Brewery, and we also had a chat with the folks at Rainbow Swans. Dion Alexander represented the Rainbow Swans at halftime and did a fantastic interview. Now, his answers were so succinct and just so good that what I'm going to do with those is just get them in snippets and get them out to the ether through reels. And that way, I think that's much better to be done. So please, once again, apologize in advance. It was a great day, though. Seriously, the Alex is the place to be. Home away from home, any home games. We're at the SCG, but any away games, you're going to see us at the Alex. It was so much fun. If you're in Sydney, make sure you get out to it. It's a lot of great people around there, great atmosphere. There was raffles, there was cheap drinks on. It was just a great day. So, hey, that's me. Again, I apologize. I'll shut up now. Enjoy the episode and see you next time.
Let's hear it for your Sydney Swans.
Welcome back to A Bevy of Bloods, a fan podcast of the Sydney Swans Football Club.
So to all you loyal Swans out there, you just can't get enough of the red and the white.
Fluff up your tail feathers and settle in for a potentially biased yarn about all things to do with our beloved Bloods.
I begin today by acknowledging the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, and pay my respects to the elders past and present. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today.
Hello, Cygnets and Swanlings. I am Chris, and this is Noddy, and together we are a bevy of bloods. Your Sydney Swans podcast. We're very happy to be here at the Alex. Noddy, it's pretty exciting.
It's very exciting. The weather, again, has been pretty wet, but we're inside today, so we can avoid all technical issues. Of course, the courtyard is raging as always here at the Alex, so get amongst it. If you're not already here, get down here.
Yes. The Alex, as many people know, has been a long, head location for the Swans fans, and has always been quite important. So
Definitely.
yeah, so it's good to see the Alex is back. Now, today is, of course, Pride game. We even go so far as to say hello to the St Kilda fans if they're around. So if there are Saints fans around, we also accept that you exist and thank you for coming as well. So that we're going so far as to that. We've got a few thank yous firstly. So we would like to thank the Alex itself for letting us take the space. As the Swans fans are home away from home, right? So something we've always wanted. And the Alexandria Hotel has been, of course, a staple of the Sydney Swans fans, and it feels good to be back here today. A lot of Swans fans have probably come through the venue at some point and watched a few games here, and to see it back bigger, badder than ever, it is particularly grand. So let's thank you very much to the Alex. We also want a quick thank you to White Bay Brewery, the official beer sponsor of the Sydney Swans. The beer shout here is going on, and we'll get a couple of the guys to roll around. I can see Graham over there serving out beers to people. Super tasty beer, and we'll get stuck into that in a moment. Lastly, and most importantly, an extra special thanks to the Swans official LGBTQIA plus supporter group, the Rainbow Swans. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to use your space and the day for you here at Pride Game. We appreciate you, and we look forward to sharing more about the group and the initiatives that they're doing as the day goes on. So, Noddy, do you want to talk about the itinerary for the day?
Yep, no worries. All right, so we've obviously done intros. We've welcomed everyone. We're going to have a chat with White Bay at a point. We're going to talk to representatives from the Rainbow Swans. And we're trying to figure out the timing of that as we go. And we'll call that out as we have figured it out. We're going to chat a little bit about the game as well before we start. And that's kind of it. And then throughout the game, I think
Throughout the game, we're going to keep our mouths shut for everyone, unless there's an injury or something. Then we'll say something. So.
Yeah, that's right. Right, so that's pretty much it. We'll give you updates along the way. But if that's that, then I guess we can move on to
I guess we can get
chatting with White Bay. Or
White Bay,
you wanna
or
go
maybe
Dion?
Dion
Yeah.
or Mark.
Mark for the raffle, yeah.
No problem. So we're going to talk about the raffle. So we'll let Mark get stuck into it. So if you can, over here, if you don't mind, please introduce yourselves.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark from the Rainbow Swans. Part of today's event, we do here at the Alex have a raffle going on, and all the proceeds are going to be going towards 2010, which is the oldest LGBTQIA plus charity in the Surrey Hills and Sydney area. They provide a lot of support for LGBTQIA plus youth who are to make sure that they feel loved by their chosen family and have a place in the community. And it's great for the Swans and for the Rainbow Swans to be able to be working with them this year. So the items that we have to give away, we have a signed AFLW game ball that has the entire AFLW team's signatures on it. We also have 2 AFLW playing jerseys that have been signed by the entire women's team as well. And then on top of that, we have this year's Pride jersey that's been signed by Nick Blakey, Ollie Ford, and Bella Smith. And then we also have Luke Parker's playing jersey in the former Pride jersey today, as well as a $200 voucher from our friends at Maribel and the Alex today. And that is for food and beverage to enjoy the future away game here at Maribel and the Alex. So thank you so much to the team at the Alex for that. If you are interested in purchasing, the tickets are 1 for $5, 3 for $10, and you can purchase them in the front bar for myself or Dion, who are here today, or any of the other Rainbow Swans members. So head on up to the front bar, and we'll be able to you can purchase tickets, get in the draw, which we'll be doing at 3/4 time.
Is there a limit to how many tickets people can buy?
As much as your heart can get towards 2010.
Which I can only imagine quite a lot. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Right. The next thing we actually want to do is we actually want to have a chat with Dan from White Bay Brewery. I can see Jason and Matt from the Alex running errands for us.
Well, we're just very humbled to be here, very appreciative, obviously.
Yes.
I don't know if I would have used the word errand, but we're deep. We're into that word now.
We are. They've been really, really fantastic.
It's coming out.
Alright,
No worries.
so
What I can say is this beer is absolutely delicious. A 4%er. It's like a decent session. We said before we started we'd better be on the mids today because, as you know, we go to every home game and we're usually well trolleyed by the end of the game, and that's why we do the review podcast on the Tuesday. Yeah. But it's our first time doing live. So,
it is the bevy for a reason. We are called the bevy for a reason.
That's
so.
right. Yeah. But until they get here, yeah.
So we're stuck in.
I hear it.
So well, there he is, just the perfect time with a whole jug to go with it.
That's
fantastic.
ahoy.
Ahoy, hoy. Oh, here you go.
So just lining that. That is seriously fantastic merch there, isn't it? It's hard for me to stop staring at those signatures, but
Absolutely.
all right, mate, come back over.
Yeah. So Dan, White Bay Brewery. What is going on today, mate, at the Alex?
Mate, I'm very privileged to be here today representing White Bay. We're doing a little beer shout, getting some punters here, some big Swan supporters, the official beer of the Swansea XPL into their hands.
And how long? It's this year that White Bay Brewery have got involved. I think it's a 3-year support of them. How exciting is that for the whole organisation?
Mate, it's like I guess when we finally got the nod that it was happening, it was a big dream come true for us. Yes, our big co-founder and a lot of the other owners were all massive Swans fans, so to be partnered with them, it's been huge and very exciting.
And today, what's the idea with the? What are you calling it today? The beer giveaway? What's the better term for it?
So I know this is one of the big official venues of the Swannies, so we just wanted to get behind and show our support and just give away, some beer for I guess a beer shout is the way we like to term it. Yeah, shout to people, give them what they want, free beer.
Wet their lips. I can see Graham over there as well. Graham, come around here, mate. Like, let them get a good look at you, so for next time they know who to talk to and be friends with for the beers. Mate, so tell me about White Bay Brewery. Where are you? What are you all about?
Yep, so we're based in Rozelle, down on Sydney Harbour, just behind the White Bay Power Station. We've been brewing there for just over 4 years in a 150-year-old steel mill. We have a big passion for quality. We brew our products, we can our products, everything's done in-house. And we're all about supporting local, getting behind community, and driving, passion for beer and getting that support behind the community around it.
And we're in a good place here. The Alex is obviously very Swans friendly, a very inclusive place in many, many ways.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic clash of Swans cultures here today. With the Rainbow Swans, the bevy, and a bevy of White Bay Brewery. It's a pretty wicked day to start sharing out the 150-year brew that you've got.
Yeah, that's right. So it has just been announced this week that we have collaborated for the first time in a partnership with the Swans. So we brewed a special lager, like you just mentioned, the 150-year anniversary. It has just gone on sale this week, and the sales have gone very quickly. So if you do want to get a case, I'll jump on it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'll just be back in a sec, guys.
That's all right, mate. So, it's a very special beer. The Swans players came in, canned the beer, they got behind the whole process.
Awesome.
Boxed it, they signed a bunch of cartons as too.
Is that like a golden ticket type situation? You get or is that on most of them?
It's a bit of a golden ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, so, they came in, both women's and the men's teams came in, had representatives from the coaching staff as well.
Awesome.
And something very special to us, and I think they had a great day. Working the canning line and getting their hands on.
Who seemed the most natural around the brewery out of the two teams?
Can we throw people under the bus here?
Throw them under the bus, mate.
Hard workers. Who work the most efficiently on the line?
Sorry, that's what we meant.
No comment.
Fair play.
So look, tell us, what does the rest of the year look like for White Bay Brewery and the sponsorship with the Swans?
Yeah, so pretty much our partnership with the Swannies, we've already done a bunch of events in line with them, and looking to do a lot more of that. So any sort of Swans event that is happening, our beer will be supplied, we'll be present, and just sort of getting amongst and building that community that the Swans already have cultured. We're just building on that culture.
Blood's culture.
Blood's culture.
Good.
That's it, man.
Man, love to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it is a tasty brew. Now, I understand there is a special discounts on game days at the Alex, $18 jugs. Is that true? There's a rumour going around. Is this true?
It is a strong rumour, and it is very, very true. We've just kicked it off this weekend, and it's going strong. Not many venues will have that sort of discount going.
For a quality of beer as well?
Yeah. For an absolute quality kick-ass beer. Yeah. So please give it a try and get down to the Alex to,
50%
Hey man, that's...
Everyone's
Yeah, I think really the Swans have done so well this year. It's the magic in this beer.
It could be the magic in the beer.
Thanks,
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me on.
Alrighty. No, it's good. Good. Thank you. Alrighty. Thank you, Dan. We might get Graham on a bit later. I heard he says some pretty wild stuff, so after a few. How long have we got before the game? We've got 8 minutes.
Not long, yeah. I reckon we've got to get through this and get the sound on.
Right. So, pre-game analysis. We're up against the Saints. Pride game at Marvel. Mate, talk to me about the ins and outs of the team.
Yeah, okay, so as we know, Cunner's got a hammy and he's probably going to be out for 2 to 3. Caden Cleary got the 2 games under his belt, has been dropped down, probably get some more VFL. In comes Robbie Fox with the age and experience, and the very solid Matty Roberts, who's got about 20 games and is still about only 20 years old, 21.
300 more to go.
That's right. Yeah, I think he's been a recent extension as well through to I think 25 or 27. So one of our exciting youngsters that we shored up. So for the Saints though, Max King out. That's a big one. Caminiti, another tall key forward out. Paddy Dow, who came in at the end of last trade period for them, he's injured. Riley Bonner injured, he's been big for them this year. And Tom Campbell, journeyman ruckman, he's out as well. In comes Dougal Howard. Is a key back. Tim Membry up front, he played for the Swans as well back in the day. Mateus Filippo, the high draft pick for them. Ryan Burns and Ben Patton, so both are utilities through the mid and defensive line there.
Yeah, mate. So last year's pie game, Saints won at the SCG, unfortunately, by 14. We got off pretty strong. They pulled it back. We got up, and then they pulled it back with a pretty quick win at the end there for 20. We held a 20-point lead in the second before we kind of got fell apart. Florence, Rowbottom, Warner, Papley, and Campbell were all listed as Sydney's best, which you'd imagine is just about where we are at the moment with those kinds of players. They've been playing a pretty good role lately, and last week in particular, the few of them stood up, but it'd be nice to see them kind of keep going. Sinclair, Marshall, Crouch, Wangani, Miller, Wilkie, and Owens were listed as the Saints' best. Look, danger players, Noddy. The Saints haven't been doing too well this year. The coaching's changed. They're not playing. They're playing very, very grey at the moment. No one knows exactly what's going on. But what do we need to do? Where do you think the strength from the Swans is going to come from?
It's hard to go past our mids who have been just firing consistently all season. 2 slip-ups to Richmond and Freo last weekend, but we were coming home. We very nearly pinched it. But Freo did a very good job on us last weekend. They nullified all of our best ball users. And funnily enough, I thought we could have exposed them in their defensive line because they had like 3 players who are around 20 and less than 10 games combined. And Draper was one of their best.
Missing Alex Pearce.
Alex Pearce was out. Brendan Cox was still out. So look, I don't want to. You don't want to go too hard too early on a single facet of the game. But for me, I think the Saints are missing a bit of firepower up front. Max King out is big. Caminiti, who's been their role player up front, he's out as well. But because of what happened with Freo, I don't want to say that we should be able to expose them up front because you never know. You never know. Any given Sunday. But yeah, look, I think for them, you can't go past Marshall. Sinclair's been in the top 10 players of the comp in the last four weeks. Brad Crouch is out for the season, so he's normally there. Wangani Miller, he is a gun. And Michito Owens, Australian Japanese guy, he's going to be a star. Yeah. So these are all guys that we need to obviously be aware of. Higgins is always deadly as well. So that's it for me, mate. Anyone to add there?
Look, I just probably go straight to the key matchup. I think the ruck battle is going to be huge for us. Brody and Rowan Marshall. Rowan Marshall has had a really good run this year. Brody's better in the hitouts. Marshall is better in the air generally and with clearances. But one thing that I think the Swans do have in that ruck battle is that we've got a second option in Hayden McLean. Doss, fan of the podcast, of course. We had him in a couple weeks ago, or last week. Last week. Look, he's a very legitimate second ruck option. Just as an example, he's sitting at 113 hitouts this year, and the Saints' second for this week is only sitting on 20. So a massive advantage we've got in that ruck battle if we can spread the load between those two gents. So that's what I think it is. And of course, Sinclair is an absolute animal. So you imagine a JJ tag maybe where it's at.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, the padlock.
Yeah, the padlock. All right, mate, we've got ourselves live in 3 minutes, so should we give it away back to the fans?
Yep, let's do it, mate. We'll come back during quarter time, half time, and 3/4 time for some of the other things that we've teed up for the day. But that's us for the moment. Up the Bloods.
Up the Bloods, go to Swannies. Don't forget, $18 jugs by White Bay Brewery, and most importantly, if you want raffles for the Rainbow Swans 2010 this year, make sure to come to the front bar and go see Mark, who's a gentleman in a blackish grey Swannies vest with lots of rainbows on him. You cannot miss him. So thank you all and enjoy the game. Ending homophobia in sports was the thing. Tell me, what did you work through with that initiative? What can we do as a community, across the community, across all parts of the community, to enhance it, to try to get to that point?
One of the big things we've tried to do is have a pride round. So at the moment, in the AFL men's competition, it is only a pride game. So this game between Sydney and St Kilda is a great initiative and it's a start, but we really need to get other clubs involved. We need some education out there. I mean, the Swans have done a great campaign this week with HSBC on being proud of your language, and it's just around reframing and just thinking about the things that you're saying. Because a lot of the time, and a lot of the supporters, a lot of the players, they don't mean to come across as homophobic, they don't mean to say the wrong thing, but they do. And so that's where education is key, so that we can stamp that out of the game so that everyone feels safe. I've worked with the other pride groups. There is almost a pride group for every single other club in the AFL to try and get everyone together to try and really push the AFL to get a pride round. And we're hopeful that it will happen. It'll really come from the players, but there's a lot of support out there for it.
I think that there's probably, we had a chat with Serena last year about it, about how it's an absolute minority, I feel, of people that probably make a lot of noise about how being quite negative to the whole point about what you're trying to achieve. But they are quite loud.
Yes.
So for those people that probably sit on maybe the sidelines and not necessarily saying anything because they feel that they need to, what kind of message do you have for them, how to help you, to help support ending homophobia in sports generally?
It really is about just checking base with our privilege that we have. So I even look at it as myself. I sit in a space, I'm a white gay man, so I'm probably one of the most friendly, if you like, to the rest of the community. So I know that there's people within the rest of our acronym in the Rainbow community that don't have it as easy day on day as what I do. And so when someone makes a comment that they may not like as a trans person, it falls on me just to say something, just to call it out. And I think that's when to be proud of your language. That's what the message was this week from the Swans, from HSBC. It was really be proud of your language, and it's just to think before we say things. And then if you hear something, stick up for it. We don't condone any sort of racism in the game, in the stands anymore, and we need to get to a place where that's the same with homophobic, transphobic or biphobic comments.
Fantastic, mate. I really appreciate that. Now let's learn about you, the person you are. Tell me, how did you learn about the Rainbow Swans? How did you come around?
There was an awesome initiative. There's a fair day every year as part of the Mardi Gras Festival. And part of Fair Day, there's all these stalls. We've got all these sporting clubs that come together and they're promoting membership, promoting what they do, promoting safe spaces for people in our Rainbow community to participate. And fortunately, the Swans and the Rainbow Swans had a stall there and they were promoting the Pride game. And that's how I learned about the Rainbow Swans to start with, that it even existed, that it was a thing. I know I've always liked as a gay man following the footy, because it's not one of those things that people necessarily think you should do as a gay person. It sort of puts people off. Like, what do you mean you're gay and you like the footy? Like, I don't understand. So it's always been one of those things. But footy's been a big part of my life. So to see that really attracted me to the Rainbow Swans, to the Sydney Swans as well. Like, originally from Adelaide, so that sort of tipped me over the edge, I suppose, if you like, after moving here to really jump on board with the Swans. And what a great club they are. The commentators speak a lot about the Bloods culture and what that is, but I think when you start to look at the way that they include people, the way that they support community, and the way that they really engage with their fans, it's an amazing club, and there's no other club like it.
So take that, Crows fans. We've stolen him.
Yeah, you can have Dawson. We've got Dion.
Dion. We'll take it. Rainbow Swans have done incredible stuff. Of course, there's many, many people in this room alone that are just big supporters of. You can see a good room around us. Hardcore Swans fans that just so happen to be, in any denomination of sexuality, disability, race, religion, and anything. The whole point about the whole game is about inclusivity. How do we engage more with just making sure that everyone feels welcome at the footy?
As I said before, just think about what you have to say when you come to the footy. Sure. And think about the impression you might make on someone else. So we've always got to consider other people, so always being empathetic towards other people's situations. Now, I'm not saying it's either of your two's, doings while people feel unsafe at the football. But, you know, as a straight white male going to the footy and getting absolutely blind drunk, that can be something that's quite intimidating for people in our community. And you're welcome to enjoy a drink, and I'm not saying that that's not behaviour that, you know, you shouldn't be engaging in. Go for it. But just think about, you know, am I potentially being a little bit too boisterous there, or am I doing something that is going to be threatening towards someone else? We all want everyone to have a great time. We want everyone to enjoy the Swans, the footy. You know, there are some avid fans here that have been around a lot longer than I have, that have probably could tell you some history about when the Swans first played at the SCG and moved from South Melbourne. So there are some very, very avid fans in amongst our group. We've got people that, you know, marched in the first Mardi Gras as well, that are part of the Rainbow Swans. So it's just amazing sort of history, and we really need to think about other people when we're going out and enjoying ourselves and enjoying the things that we really like and enjoying our football club.
So you said earlier that, you know, the dream would be to have a pride round, but the AFL isn't quite there yet. But we have seen a few circumstances this year where individual players have been fined several weeks for you know, slurs.
Yep.
Do you think that that's enough, or could more be done, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot more that could be done. So if you look at the Pride round when it's being organised, the Pride game when it's been organised at the SCG, umpires are involved, security's involved, police are involved. It's a whole stadium thing that comes together. It's not just isolated to players sitting down and understanding what the players are saying on field. You know, as I said before, yeah, we had this club's been through the Adam Good saga, and we should have never been through that. And for that to have been stamped out, there's been a lot of work around security. There's been a lot of work around venue policy, and that sort of stuff that isn't really sexy and doesn't get doesn't get anyone really excited is really important, right? And it's education around, like, okay, you know, there's instances that we've had from other clubs with speaking that, you know, homophobic slurs being made in the crowd, and then it's actually the person that is gay that's been moved out of the area, not someone ejected from a stadium. So that's what, you know, that sort of education is going to be key, and it's key everywhere. You know, what we don't know, we don't know.
Yeah.
And so really being to be able to provide some education, and great organisations like 2010 who we're supporting today, they do a great job of educating people in around you know, what we can do to better be allies in the community, and even for me, what I can do. You know, there's a lot of letters in our acronym. There's a lot of people and different people in our Rainbow community. I'm always learning as well, so I don't think anyone should ever think that they know it all.
That is a brilliant summary, I guess, of where we need to be. I think as football fans, we forget sometimes that football kind of comes second. At the end of the day, we are in a big community.
Correct.
And we need to appreciate everyone else in that community and be empathetic for everyone else at the same time. So, Dion, thank you so much for the insight. Thank you so much for the representation of Rainbow Swans. Now, there is a raffle going on for everyone at the venue. Tell us about what we're raffling off and how to get the raffle and where the money is going.
So as I mentioned before, we're supporting a great organisation called 2010 who do a lot of work in Sydney in disadvantaged LGBTQIA+ individuals. So they help a lot of at-risk youth that are in our community really thrive, which is it's really, really important, because we know that the mental health statistics for our youth in our community is not great. It's 5 times more likely that someone from our community will commit suicide than from any other aspect of the community. So we're raising everything that we're raising today is going towards 2010 to continue their work. They're an official an official partner of the Sydney Swans as well, and the Swans get on board with them for the Pride game. We have 4 Guernseys, so we've got a couple of AFLW ones that are fully signed with the AFLW Pride Guernsey. We've got a Pride Guernsey that was signed by our 4 players. So we've got 3 players, sorry. We've got 2 of the AFL men's signatures on there. We've got an AFLW signature on there from the pre-Pride game dinner that we had. And then I've got Luke Parker's Pride Guernsey from last year as well. We have an AFLW Pride round Sharon as well. And we have a $200 Alex voucher for a food and beverage experience here for the next away game. Come see myself, come see Mark, come see Phil. We'll hook you up with some tickets.
And that's right, thank you. Thank you to the Alex for everything you've done today and allowing this space to be used for multiple reasons, for all our Swans fans to come together and enjoy the community that we are in, for sponsoring and helping the Rainbow Swans collect cash as well needed for 2010 and great stuff that they do. So, I guess thank you to everyone, and half time, let's see how the Swans go. Dion, last minute prediction. Noddy, I'll come to you next.
Well, I think after that second quarter, I think we're going to blast away with this one now. I reckon, what do you reckon, 10 goals by the end? 10 goals by the end, I reckon.
I say yes.
Yeah, okay.
Gee, we have actually a special guest here, Gene from 2010.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Chris.
Nice to meet
This
you.
is Noddy. We're from the potty.
Hi, Noddy from the potty.
Please talk to us about your initiatives. What is it you do and how to get around it the most?
Well, look, there's some Rainbow Swans in here that totally know who 2010 are and what we do, and they've been supporting us for many, many years. So 2010, for those that don't know, we're an LGBTIQA+ youth service and charity. So we provide young people with housing, counselling, kind of everything they need to thrive and survive. We also work with people of all ages. We do training, we do volunteering, and we're really, really proud partners of the Sydney Swans. So we're in our third year of a charity partnership as part of their diversity action plan, and we couldn't be more proud, honestly. The culture at the club is like, from Tom, the CEO, to the on-ground staff, to the people and culture staff, they're really leading in true inclusion and diversity, and we couldn't be happier. And we've always been supported by the Rainbow Swans. Right? Yes. Yeah.
They're a great crew, and we've got some great merchandise here to support.
Yeah.
How much does this mean to make sure that you're not only funded from a monetary perspective, but also from a community aspect, to have as many people in such a established club like the Bloods around you?
I think that I was really lucky to have a chat with the players of training this week, and they presented us with a signed jersey, which was a total surprise. We were like straight to the pool room. And like I said to the folks, and Brody's come on board as the diversity action plan kind of sponsor and spokesperson, which is really amazing. I think that allyship and visibility and the Pride round is so important, because it sends a message to young people all over Australia and people of all ages that we see you, you're affirmed, you're supported, you have a community around you, and the AFL brings people together, right? It's an Australian space, and there is space for every person in this country to be affirmed and celebrated and protected and safe and cared for, and that includes LGBTIQA+ people. And the Swans are leading that work in AFL space.
Amazing.
And St Kilda, obviously, too.
St Kilda, of course.
Yeah, but Swans today, Swans today.
I don't think there's any Saints fans here, so we're kind of covered. No worries.
Every dollar raised goes straight towards our program. So thank you so much for supporting us with your hearts and your money.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny. It's pretty hard to talk about football, Noddy, after some of the good stuff that's going on. But,
It is, yeah.
mate, talk to me. I guess we're pretty lucky to be here.
We are. Do we have time?
Do we have a bit of time, perhaps, to have one more interview?
One more interview before the second half starts.
Yeah, a couple of minutes. I'm sure we can still Jen. Come on, Jen. Do that.
Bit of a last minute thing here, and obviously the second half is about to kick off, but just want to introduce to our potty Jen, who is coming in for the AFLW season with Chris and a few of the other regular contributors. Jen is an absolute legend of Sydney footy. We worked a lifetime ago in the Forest Lodge Hotel together, and then since then Jen went on and just created history for Sydney Uni. The best and fairest medal is named after her now. So we are just through the roof to have her on board. So much experience in footy, a massive Swans fan, and we're just super stoked to have you on board. Obviously an amazing event today, Pride round, and this is a pretty tough game. Yeah. Thoughts on the game? To put you on the spot.
Thank you for having me. Looking forward to helping out with the AFLW season. Thoughts on the game so club. I've been saying to everybody.
You can help with the men's as well. You have free license to, yeah.
But yeah, thoughts on the game so far. Why do they do this to us every first quarter?
Yeah.
Start attacks every first quarter.
It's a killer.
We were just talking about it on the side here. It just seems like nobody wants to pick up the ball. Everyone's hesitating. They're kind of like waiting for someone else to pick up the ball. They want someone else to do the shuttle so they can do the themselves. And then finally, about halfway through that quarter, the Chad maybe yelled at him and was like, pick it up. And as soon as he started to get in there and started moving it forward, actually maybe the pivotal point for me was McCartan going back with the flight in centre. Everybody knows his history. He's done that. He's pushed back. After that moment, it's kind of like they put their sights up and people picking up the ball, they're running forward, they're pushing forward, they're looking for each other. They were just wanting the ball. So if they can do that in the second half, I'll go to sleep again and we'll take it away.
Awesome. Super insight there. Nothing to add. How about you?
Nothing other than when you watch these games, do you still feel itchy when you want to get out there again?
I'm so itchy. I was like, I keep taking my coat off, I keep putting it back on. I'm like, am I hot? Am I cold? My face is flushed. Is that the beer? Is it the game? I don't know. Yeah, very itchy. I'm like, ooh, what? Could I put my boots back on? Maybe.
And just a quick one, because I know we're going to be talking a lot about AFLW in the next year. We'll go quickly. How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how pumped are you?
10, 11, 12.
11 and 12. Thanks everyone.
Thanks, Jen.
Back to the game.